Yay, Deeds, Oren here. We're gonna review this upcoming schedule for, I believe it's week 14, with the Pigskin Pick'ems League that I'm a part of. That I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try to predict which team is gonna win in each of these games in these upcoming weeks. So, week 14, December 7th through 11th. So that's looks like that's where we're at right now. So. The Thursday night football game, which should be on Amazon. I believe that's a 7:15-ish game, or 7:15, 7:30, sometime within the 7 to 7:30 half hour. I'm talking in Central Time, like 8 to 8:30 if you're Eastern Time. And then the New England Patriots, who I believe they've given up like 10 points or fewer in the last three games and still have lost all three of them, or something like that. And I know Bailey Zappi has appeared in 5 games ever since October 1st, so he may appear yet again. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're playing in Pittsburgh. They're going to go up against that Watt guy who seems to be really good at being an edge rusher, as well as Pittsburgh's really good defense, as well as not Kenny Pickett. It's funny how after Matt Canada got fired, everybody's like talking about, all right, Kenny Pickett has no more excuses. Is he really good or really bad, or what's going on? And then he winds up getting injured and he's out. And now it's their backup. So the Patriots have been really bad this year, but it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is probably going to be a very low scoring game if Kenny Pickett isn't there, but I think I'll just go with Pittsburgh. Just play it safe. New England's 2-10. They're one of the worst teams in the league. So, and then here's the first one of the first Sunday afternoon games. Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. This feels like a game that could go either way. I did say at the beginning of the season I predicted that Atlanta would win the division, but anybody could except Carolina. I'm gonna say Atlanta figures out what they're doing offensively, and they get the win here. They're determined to win that what is it, NFC South that they're in, and they have a slight lead there. So, and they want to run away with it, and they'll put up. Yeah, they'll do everything they can now to do that. All right, my Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. They're going to be in Soldier Field for this game. This will be another 1 o'clock game, and I'm currently watching the St. Brown brothers as they talk and preview and that sort of thing. They said the weather forecast there might be either rain or snow, so it might be like that tsunami game with the Bears and the 49ers from the first game of last year, where the Bears were able to win just because of the weather. The only game that Trey Lance made a full start for the 49ers for that game. So that happens, that could have a huge, significant impact in the game with whatever precipitation and when that happens there. But the Bears looked really good. They almost beat the Lions the first time they played. Their defense, I think, has improved a whole lot to the point where like their linemen are really good at getting their hands up and deflecting the passes, while their secondary has gotten really good at disguising their coverages, which misleads the quarterbacks enough to be able to throw the interceptions. That's why they've been getting so many interceptions in these last 2 games, even if it's against NFC North teams. But the Lions, I think, are just too all around really good offensively, even though they had a huge loss. I found out about yesterday when they lost to Lee McNeil, and they had to sign a Tyson guy to kind of replace him for a little bit. So Lee McNeil is going to the IR, so he might be back toward the end of the season. That's a huge bummer, huge loss for a defense that's already, trying to keep up to complement the offense. But I think the Lions, they're determined to win the NFC North as best they can, and I think they're just, despite their struggles on defense, they were able to come back at the Bears the last minute. So even if it's a road game, Lions are the all-around better team, so I'll go with them there. And then Another afternoon game, the Colts and the Bengals. I still know next to nothing about the Colts, but I did watch Cincinnati without Joe Burrow on Monday Night Football, and they've seemed like they've really stepped up with Jameer, Chase, their wide receiver, and that sort of stuff. And then Gardner Minshew's doing stuff with the Colts without Jonathan Taylor and no Anthony Richardson and that sort of thing. This one's kind of a tough one, and these aren't division rivals, so. Ugh. Jake Browning, their backup quarterback, just did beat a really good team. Where I feel like the Colts, they tend to beat up on like the worst teams, and that's how their record got so really good. I think I'll go with the Bengals here for that rationale. And then another afternoon game, Jacksonville. Who knows what's going on with Trevor Lawrence right now at this point, and they also lost Christian Kirk. He also was out with an injury there. And then the Cleveland Browns, that they don't have their quarterback that everybody hates, justifiably, allegedly, but they have, nor their really good running back, Nick Chubb. He's out for the season. So, their offensive line is, as far as I remember, still pretty good. So, but they have the best all-around defense in the league as well. Depends on what's going on with Trevor Lawrence here. Cleveland has beaten good teams, and they've lost to subpar teams as well. I think I'll go with Cleveland. They seem like what they have going on is more sure than what Jacksonville is right now. They seem, yeah, I'll go Cleveland for now. And it'll make it interesting in the AFC South if Jacksonville loses again. Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints. This should be a no-brainer. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about that. New Orleans Saints, I pick. Houston Texans, New York Jets. The Jets are another team with a really good defense, but a lot of problems on offense without Aaron Rodgers. And then you got the Texans offense where you have CJ Stroud. I told you guys, CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback way back in last year's draft. But they don't have Tank Dell anymore off for the season with an injury as well. So I think the Texans are the better all-around team right now. Plus, they have something worth playing for, so they'll be more motivated to try to get that out there. And then, plus, Zach Wilson is going back to starting reluctantly for the Jets, so I'll do Texans. Another afternoon game, the Rams and the Ravens. Rams seem like they've been playing better lately. They could be a playoff team, but you're going against Baltimore, who's proving to be a super team, pretty much the Philadelphia Eagles of the AFC. So I'll give it to Baltimore there. And the first later afternoon game here, Minnesota Vikings versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I'd really like for Minnesota to lose, but with Jefferson coming back, and I think both teams are playing their backup quarterbacks. Last I checked, Jimmy Garoppolo was benched in favor of Aiden O'Connell, and then you got Josh Dobbs. He was a fun to talk about for a bit when he got to Minnesota, but he kind of fell down to earth last time they played the Bears, and everybody remembers, oh yeah, he's a backup quarterback. But they do have Jefferson coming back. They have TJ Hawkinson. They have that other wide receiver that they drafted who can do damage there. And they have Hunter on defense, who's been one of the leaders in sacks and who's really doing damage over there. I think I'm going to have to pick the Vikings here. I hope they lose, but I think they'll probably win. Seahawks, the Wicked Witch of the Pacific Northwest versus the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, yeah. Definitely picking San Francisco after the way they beat up Philadelphia. And Seahawks tend to be struggling right now. They did almost beat the Dallas Cowboys, but they weren't able to finish it off. So You know, don't count out the Seahawks by any means. They can put up a good fight against anybody, but San Francisco, I think, is just on a whole another level right now. And they're right. They have been my picks to win the Super Bowl this whole time. So as long as they stay healthy. Let's see, Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs just lost to the Green Bay Packers. But the Packers seem like they're starting to get really good, but hopefully not too good. Buffalo Bills 6-6. They have not been consistent. They are not the Super Bowl favorite team that they were last year. And they've lost games that you'd think they weren't supposed to win. Kansas City's offense hasn't been that good as it usually is in recent years either. I feel like the safe pick here would be the Chiefs, so I'll go ahead with that. And another late afternoon game, Denver Broncos and the Chargers, a division game, which, you know, anything can happen with those type of games. I think considering Denver's recent huge winning streak, they did lose their most recent game. I feel like they have more momentum than the Chargers, who everybody just seems like, oh, it's a countdown to when they're firing Staley, their head coach. But I think I'll go with the Broncos here. I don't have a good reason for picking them, but yeah, just because they seem like they're the hotter team proportionally. But I could see this going either way, really. Here's one of the other games I'll be streaming. This will be a big fun one. Another two juggernauts and two big rivalries: Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is an MVP candidate, I think. You know, Jalen Hurts is as well. But Philadelphia won their first matchup at Philadelphia, and they were playing at Dallas. And Dallas came within inches at several times of beating Philadelphia that first time. And I think this time around, they'll probably get it done. I'll pick Dallas to win this game. And then that will be good for the Lions. If Philadelphia can lose again, then they'll have a chance to get the number one overall seed, and the Lions can still be in the fight for that, which is what I would prefer if the Lions can get number one overall in the NFC. And that's the Sunday Night Football game, by the way. That'll be on NBC. That'll be at 7:20 p.m. Yeah, I didn't realize it said the time right there, but yeah. And then two Monday Night Football games, Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphins. This one should be pretty much an easy pick. Tennessee's not really a good team anymore, and I know next to nothing about them, kind of like with the Colts. You know, they have Derrick Henry, so I do know about that with them. Will Levis, he had a good first game, and now he's kind of earned the starter spot, and he's just you know, being Will Levis, you know, like he's there as a quarterback. He hasn't done anything flashy since that first game, but maybe he will, maybe he won't. But Miami, you got Tyreek Hill, who's chasing down Calvin Johnson and with that yards and trying to get to 2,000. Tua, Jalen Waddle. Wait, I don't know if Jalen Waddle's injured or not. I'll have to double check on that. And then their nerdy head coach, whose name always escapes me whenever I talk about them, but the Dolphins are currently the number one seed in the AFC, so they shouldn't have any trouble putting away the Titans. What a worse time to have hiccups. And then the Green Bay Packers going to the New York Giants because, of course, the New York Giants have another primetime game because it's New York, that big population, trying to get their numbers and their money as best they can. Monday Night Football, December 11th at 7:15 p.m. That'll be on ESPN and ABC, if I recall correctly. No, wait. Both of these games start at 7:15. Titans and Dolphins is on ESPN, while Packers and Giants are on ABC and ESPN Plus. Packers seem to be a really hot team right now. They just beat Detroit and they just beat Kansas City, two very good teams. Apparently, they're undefeated in December when Matt LaFleur is their head coach. And then you have the New York Giants, who are just basically nothing this year. It's a miracle that they have 4 wins at this point. Although I'd love for the Giants to beat the Packers and help the Lions get closer to clinching the NFC North. I think I'm going to have to go with Green Bay here, considering how well Jordan Love is playing with Tucker Kraft, uh, and their weapons on offense and like that. So especially if Christian Watson has a really good game, then watch out. So and then how many total points will be scored? Titans versus Dolphins. Why for that one? Why not for the Packers and the other one? I'm just gonna go 55. And it'll be like the Dolphins scoring like 41 and then I guess like the Titans would get like 14 or something like that. And yeah. So let's recap the primetime games one more time. So 7:15 Thursday night, 12/7. That'll be on Amazon Prime or Twitch. And then Sunday night on NBC at 7:20, Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. And then 2 Monday Night Football games at both at 7:15 on ESPN is Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphins. And then on ABC and ESPN Plus is Green Bay Packers at New York Giants. So yeah, should be another fun week of NFL. So, and as always, go Lions on pride.